Hello. Uh, I can't hear you for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
It would help if I turned the mic on.
Yeah.
Okay. I just resent an email to Shane with a direct link. I don't know why the invite part of Google Hangouts wasn't working, but he should be coming on soon.
Okay. Yeah, I was chatting with him a minute ago,
Okay.
so.
All right. So I'm Alicia or Hero Job Shy, and you're Mason?
Yeah, Mason Molyneux.
Okay. All right.
Somebody's calling me here, I think. Or maybe that's you.
It could be me. I'm not sure.
I,
This is the first time me running a Google Hangout. I've only participated,
oh,
so this
okay.
is completely different.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I don't use Google Hangout very much, so.
Um, I find it interesting. I prefer Skype, but
Yeah.
because Google Hangout is free, a lot more people use it, but it doesn't have the same quality that Skype does. Plus, not as many people can chat or hang on with Skype versus Google Hangout.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Okay. Well, before Shane comes on, Mason, maybe you can just. Oh, here he is.
Hello?
Hello, Shane. It's Alicia here at Job Shy. Thank you for joining us. We got Mason on board. I'm sorry on my end. I thought I was doing everything right, but apparently no. Apparently
That's all
not.
right. We're here now.
Okay. Well, why don't we start off by each of you just telling a little bit about yourself and how you thought of this idea of, gaming and Dogecoin. Do you want to
Mason,
start,
why don't you go
Shane, or
ahead first
Mason?
since I just got in?
Okay, yeah. So we're both part of a business incubator in Kansas City,
Okay.
and we kind of went around the circle and everybody kind of said, what they did. And that was like the first time we met. And
Mm-hmm.
like right away, we could tell that we were probably going to work together on something. And so we got together and talked about it. And Shane pretty much had the idea to get the Dogecoin community involved. And he's kind of a bigger player over there. I'm pretty new to all that. So
Okay. So what is the Kansas City Incubator, just so anybody out there might want to know a bit more about that or help support that?
yeah, it's about
No,
a
I'll take
year.
that one.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Yeah, so the incubator is called Beta Blocks.
Okay.
It's in Kansas City. It's a startup incubator where I think every 3 months new startups try to compete to get in, and I think around 10 get in every 3 to 6 months. I don't remember exactly. And so Mason and his team and myself, we got in back in July, and so we have like a batch of 10 that we've been working with and learning with through mentorships, and we get a working space. We get access to demo day and investors, depending on where we are in our startup. So it's really just trying to get us off the ground and teach us as much as we can so that we can be better prepared.
Okay. And is this like where you, as a mentorship program, this is where you kind of step up into a bigger level donorships, or I don't should say donorships, but investors? Is it like
Yeah,
a
if
launch
that's the
pad?
route we need to go, then that's what we can get. But really, it's some of us, we're just in different stages.
Hmm.
Some of us are making revenue, some of us aren't. We're trying to learn. So it's all different places, but learning how to get, investing or investors, and that's part of the process too.
Okay. And from the two of you meeting together, did you form the high school eSport league, or did you have another project that you guys started on?
Uh, no, the high school esports league was done by me and my team
Okay.
about a year before we entered Beta Blocks. So
Okay.
Doge4eSports was really the thing that came out of Shane and our relationship
Okay.
from
And
Yeah.
Beta
So I
Blocks.
joined as coinplay.io. We sell video games and PC games activate on Steam.
mhm.
And since I did video games, we accept Dogecoin, and Mason was in high school esports. I thought, I do video games, I do cryptocurrency. He's in esports. I feel like this is a pretty good marriage to make a project, and we kind of just went from there.
Okay. So Mason, when you originally started the high school eSport league, was it basically just based in the Kansas City area, or did you always have like a kind of global ambition?
Yeah, there's always been that national or global goal,
Mm-hmm.
but the idea has changed so many times. I mean, it's just you kind of have to get the right fit. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's so the first season was our summer open, and that was kind of like a test. And we ended up getting about 20 teams, which was more than we expected. And
Mm-hmm.
they were from all over North America. We had a couple in Canada and one from Mexico.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. So that's a very broad scope. I mean, with the internet, you can just almost be from anywhere and anywhere.
yeah.
Um, but how was like just building the high school teams and working with the school districts? Was that in any way a hurdle, or are these considered clubs? Are these officially sanctioned?
Yeah, so they're not officially sanctioned through the schools yet. Some of the teams do have sponsors that are teachers
Mm-hmm.
that actually act as coaches and managers for them. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll practice and run through strategies and stuff like that, like any normal traditional sport would.
Oh, okay. Well, that's more than I have ever thought about. I mean, I thought of this was a club, but think of it as a sports activity or a team. That's unique. That's different. And
Yeah.
from the team up with the Doge4eSports, how has that expanded your already existing program?
Yeah, so when that happened, we just kind of got the Dogecoin community behind us,
Mm-hmm.
and they all loved it and accepted us, and they're awesome. And so that just allowed us to get our voice to a much larger audience. So there was a lot more teams that signed up for the fall semester.
Okay. And are there going to be any returning teams for the spring? Have you already seen that
Yeah,
happen?
yeah, totally. The two winners, the two champions for the varsity and junior varsity divisions, have already signed back up, and we just recently opened signups. I want to say a week and a half ago, and we already
Yes.
have 49 teams.
It's not like double what you guys had last fall?
In the fall, we had 52.
52,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, but we still have about a month and a half left to get more signups going.
Okay. Well, when I looked at
Looks like
your
there's time
your
to actually double it then.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, our goal is 100, and we
Okay.
also added another game in too, so that helps.
Well, I saw that you added Dota to the game, so there's
Yeah,
going to be basically two different almost leagues going on
yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah,
same time. Now, I know that you streamed on Twitch, and I watched a lot of the matches on Twitch, and you had casters that
yeah.
were casting the game for you guys. Have you had any response from the Twitch community now that Dogecoin is on there, or?
Well, Twitch is hard.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's just we didn't really have like a huge following on
Mm-hmm.
Twitch, so it was hard to get viewers. And there's just a lot of things going on, like Worlds and LCS and stuff
Mm-hmm.
that was going on at the same time. So it was we're kind of fighting for airtime, and yeah, so that was kind of a hurdle that we're going to have to figure out how to get past this next semester.
Okay. Well, I know there was like the League of Championships. There was like a lot of championship games towards the end of the year. Do you think now
Yeah.
that you're in the spring that is there a dead space where you might get more attention?
Well, the LCS runs pretty much year round, so
Yes.
it's gonna be hard still. I think we'll probably end up moving to Sunday if we're gonna stream.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that should make it a lot better
Okay.
as far as viewership goes.
But as far as the students that participate, I mean, how is their response about entering this league and being and receiving Dogecoin? I mean, have you gotten a great response back from them, or are they still like, I'm not sure what this is?
Specifically about the Dogecoin,
Mm-hmm.
we've had a few teams um, really can't believe that they just got paid to play a video game, you know? So it kind of makes them feel like like they're pros, you know. So it's a
Oh,
huge boost in confidence and legitimacy for esports in their minds, and especially their parents too.
because they got a
So
little money and it's not just
yeah, yeah, yeah. They've been buying. I don't know if they've got anything from CoinPlay, but they did tell us they got some gift cards and
No, it's good to hear.
what's that?
was that
You know,
Shane?
I've been curious about that as well since ever since we handed off. So Cryptiv is the one that sponsored the event, as well as several other sponsors like Shibe Mint, Dogecoin Ball, and SoChain.
Mm-hmm.
But Cryptiv is the one that actually did the send to all the students, and so that was like 7.6 million, something around there, Dogecoin. And I've been, ever since the send, like I haven't really tracked it because I mean you can't, follow like 200 kids and see what they're doing with their money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to hear that some of them are actually excited about it because that was the whole goal to begin with, to get as much Dogecoin out there to a younger generation,
Mm-hmm.
to see what kind of impact it would have on the Doge economy, or to see if there'd be any more buzz beyond that. But it's good to hear that some of them are actually spending it and are excited about it.
Well, I was thinking, since this is you're on Twitch and this is gaming, have anyone said they use it for their subscription service or any upgrades for through Twitch or done other things for gaming? Or
Yeah, I really actually haven't heard too much on what they're spending it on,
hmm
so I really don't know that.
Okay. Now you've already mentioned that Cryptiv is sponsoring or has sponsored the fall. Are they sponsoring the spring league? Or are you guys getting more sponsors?
Yeah, we haven't actually been pursuing that yet. We'll
Mm-hmm.
probably start doing that here in 3 or so weeks when we get a
Mm-hmm.
little closer.
Yeah, we haven't discussed anything regarding Doge4eSport, so that was kind of its own little thing, and
Mm-hmm.
so that was just a combination of our efforts. If there is any Doge4eSports to come next, I mean, it would really have to come from the community to see
Mm-hmm.
if
Yeah,
they want something like that.
They want to re-engage and support this spring. Okay.
right. Yeah.
Mhm.
But as far as the high school esports league, I mean, you guys your goal is 100 teams. Are you looking to engage further, or I mean, what is the end goal for you guys?
Engage in
Like, are you
Dogecoin.
guys going to expand? Well, not as just Dogecoin, but just the gaming community in general. Are you guys going to have like? I know there's other high school esport leagues out there. Would you pit your champion against their champion, or?
Oh, yeah, that had crossed our mind before, and I
Hmm.
actually know the guys over at the other league. Um, I don't know. I might do that. We'll have to think about it.
Okay. And
That
do you
would
guys?
be that'd be an interesting Twitch match to stream for sure.
And besides the high school esports league, do you guys have any other incubator projects that you're working on, or is this you're putting all your full effort here?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's just between working part time and doing this,
Hmm.
it's there's just not enough time
Okay.
for me at least. Shane somehow, I don't know how he did CoinPlay and Doge for esports. He's a beast.
Well, Shane, talk a little bit more.
Well, I mean, I just love the Dogecoin community, so it's hard not to want to do something, or. I mean, I want more stuff to happen in the community, so it was just a passion.
The passion for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how is your business with CoinPlay? How is that going for you guys? How many? I mean, with Stream and Xbox Live accepting Bitcoin, and there seems to be a lot more gaming options for people now than I
Well,
would say
our
like a
our
year
space is
ago.
only yeah, our space is only PC games, but there's definitely opportunities out there.
Hmm.
If the problem with trying to sell Xbox games and all that stuff is we only do digital distribution. So if
Hmm.
other things like Xbox or PSN you were able to have like third party resellers, then
Hmm.
we could go to that. But for us, we're just selling Steam games, and that requires us to reach out to developers, work with them to be able to sell their games. So every game we sell is with the permission of a developer, and we have to create contracts with them.
Hmm.
So it's more of a slow process to make sure like we've got everything correct, and we've got the right partners, and we're selling the games. And so it's for us, we started back in July. Our site was down a lot until November. So November is really when we came back, and now it's just trying to collect data to see where we go from there.
Was the down was it a result of DODS attacks? I know that happens a lot with cryptocurrency businesses, or was it just the impact of this? You just didn't have a server space, or?
No, it's honestly it's just myself and one other partner who's working on it, and I mean we've got full-time jobs. We both have
Hmm.
families, and so it
Hmm.
was just hard getting together and pushing it all out and making sure it was what we wanted to be. Because when it comes to crypto, you have to I guess go overboard with security, or at least try to
Yes.
prove that. I mean, it's a zero trust society. So, um, I mean, now we accept credit cards, and so we're more of a legitimate competitor to other street or Steam resellers.
Hmm.
But crypto was where we started, and so we want to continue that.
Okay.
And so a lot of that was making sure we had it all correct. And I picked up a few more partners since then, helping with various aspects of the business. So you'll probably see a lot more of us in 2015 than you did in 2014.
Okay. Well, I do have a question. You said with the whole licensing and making sure you have permission to sell the digital content, have you reached out to any developer games as a means of maybe premiering on your site or development? Is that an ambition of yours?
Well, that would be an entirely different business if we wanted to do development of games. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something I would shy away from, but the reason we have to work with developers
Mm-hmm.
is licensing is just kind of a very messy sort of environment.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were to sell games from a developer and it wasn't authorized, if it wasn't with their permission, we could actually get someone's account like banned from Steam. And
Yes.
so it really has to be from a developer to make that legitimate. And so there are plenty of resellers out there who don't go that route,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just not something we want to do, especially when we accept crypto. It has to be legitimate from every side we can.
Mm-hmm. And what do you see, as you said, we're going to see more of you in 2015. Are there any big push outs or marketing push outs or any big huge plans?
Well, I think when we first started, everything was a big plan,
Mm-hmm.
and what we're learning is it's actually a bunch of small plans that just kind of come together,
Mm-hmm.
and makes me laughing because I think he like a lot of the startups kind of learned this lesson because when you first get into businesses, you
Mm-hmm.
think I've got this idea, it's going to be amazing,
Hmm.
and as you get going, really you just get a lot of little lessons or big lessons that you think you can do big, but really there's a lot of people who've done it before you that just kind of know what's going on, and just because you have
Yeah.
an idea doesn't mean it's actually worth anything. So 2015 really for us is we've learned a lot in 2014,
Mm-hmm.
what to push out, what customers want, what they don't want, and so in 2015 we're just working hard to take that feedback and make a better product. And so
Well,
I
I have
think, yeah.
okay. Well, I have a question for both of you, since you guys are in the startup area. Is there one little lesson or one big lesson that you had learned where you thought this was going to work and then reality hit you? Um,
It's
Let's go
it's
first.
all about, to me,
mm-hmm.
persistence, and that's one thing that they pump into you. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you just have to keep going. And it's a roller coaster of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
You get mad, you get depressed, but there's also those wins, and you have to like celebrate the small wins. That to me is the most important thing.
I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned, and it's not I learned, it just became apparent over time. One of the first things I remember, Wes Bergman, he's the lead investor at Beta Blocks. One of the lessons he said was that your relationships will change, like with your friends and family, and
Mm,
it isn't because what it is as you're working on this, no one really understands why you're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a lot of us, we're not going to be making money for a while. It is a huge time investment, and it's something you're passionate about. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you can go have a career, which I have a daytime job as well,
Mm-hmm.
but I work on this at night and as much as I can over the weekends because it's important to me. And at a certain point, I realized, a lot of friends of mine, they don't do something like this, and they wouldn't understand why I do it because, time is very, very valuable. And so how I spend my time is very different from a lot of people I know now, except for, the people in the startup incubator. Like I have much closer relationship with them in probably the last 6 months than I do a lot of people over, I've known him for decades, and it's
Hmm.
because we all reprioritized what's important to us in a very short amount of time.
Hmm. Do you want to add anything to that, Mason, about relationships or?
Oh no, it's definitely true. They just people don't understand. They think you're crazy, and it's you just have to kind of take it as it is and keep going.
So I personally, for me, because I started the podcasting, and there's still people out there that don't even know what that is, even in 2014. But have this passion to do this show, and even from friends and family, they just don't understand. They don't get it. Like, you just talk in your microphone and you send this content out for free. I mean, how are you gonna make money? And I'm like, that's not the point. Maybe it will happen. Maybe I will make money. That is a goal. But right now, it's just building your brand, building your relationships, networking.
Yep.
Well, I have
No,
another
that's
question.
exactly correct. I mean, if it's something you're passionate about,
I'm
that's
very
what you have to
passionate about
do.
it.
You have to take the long view and work hard, and eventually you'll get there.
Eventually, yes, eventually. Well, Mason, I have a question for you. As someone who you stated that it was Shane that got you into the sense of cryptocurrency, I mean, what did you think about Dogecoin or cryptocurrency in general? Did you know anything about it before engaging?
Yeah. So I knew about it. I knew that it was there,
Mm-hmm.
but I had no idea how it worked. And through many conversations with Shane, of him explaining and re-explaining, it all started to make sense. And yeah, it's great. I have a new respect for especially Dogecoin, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, the whole crypto uh, group.
And what about you, Shane? How did you get engaged with Dogecoin or cryptocurrencies in general? Did we lose Shane? Did I lose
Okay,
him?
yeah, for me, it
Oh.
started actually back in December, late
Mm-hmm.
December. A buddy of mine was telling me about altcoins, and so before that, I knew a little bit about Bitcoin. A friend of mine had done some mining in like 2011, and so which is a good time to mine Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But but in December, I got to a point where I was like, I just want one Bitcoin. I don't know where this is going to go. I knew you could buy fractions of Bitcoins, but I just want one. And it wasn't. It was right after a crash. I mean, it was close to 1,200. And one morning I woke up and it was like $400, and I was like, okay, this is my chance to say I have one, put it in cold storage, and just walk away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I bought one, and then my buddy told me about altcoins, and like what he listed was Feathercoin, Litecoin, and Dogecoin.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was Dogecoin was the one that really stuck out, and it was because of the community. I joined all the subreddits for each of them, and Dogecoin was the one that was just rising meteorically, of all the other ones. It wasn't too long before it surpassed Litecoin's subreddit user base, and then
Yes.
it was skyrocketing from there, and I just couldn't get away from it. It was probably the most fun I've had on Reddit in a long time, and that's how I got into it.
Okay. Well, may I ask you, do you guys, since you are into gaming and you've built this startup company and you're in the technical field, are you guys software guys? Are you more hardware guys? Are you kind of a combination of both?
My background is actually in film,
Really?
so yeah,
So how did you take a left field into gaming?
it's just always been a passion of mine. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
growing up, um, gaming was kind of like my escape, and I know that's the same for a lot of people. But yeah, so that's how I mean, just I played World of Warcraft religiously, and I was a huge nerd in high school. So
Yeah. For me,
Well, yeah.
my day job, I'm an accountant, so that's probably as far from gaming as you can get. But like most kids, I mean, like Mason, I grew up with games. Um, I think like I can remember as far back as playing MUDs, those text-based games, multi-user
Yes.
level dungeons. And I mean, I played WoW as well, National's Call, and Quake 2, and a lot of those games. I did a clan for Quake 2 or Action Quake 2 when I was like 16. And so gaming's just always been part of my life, and I've been fortunate enough that I'm able to like go back into it now, but in like a different angle.
hmm
Well, what would you say be the first game that you played that you knew that this is your thing? Was there like a
Oh yeah,
okay, there's
yeah. It was definitely uh, Warcraft: Tides of Darkness, Warcraft 2.
okay.
I played that more than any game I had previously, and that just, I mean, I played all day
Hmm.
for weeks and weeks, and that's just kind of how every game after that that I got hooked on. That's just kind of how it went.
So you're like a marathon gamer. You keep as soon as the game comes in, you play until you finish it, or
No, just play over and over, even if it's the same thing.
oh wow,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That was, man. I was maybe fifth grade when that was. So yeah, and that's the same with everything after that. And I've been kind of stuck on League of Legends um, for the past 4 years, so I haven't really expanded much past that. So.
Mhm. And what about you, Shane?
For me, it first started when I was introduced to, I think it was Command and Conquer and Red
Hmm.
Alert. I mean, this is a long time ago. The first time I ever played was probably at like a friend's house when I can't even remember how old I was.
Did
And
you do LAN parties?
well, even before LAN parties, we were connecting over the modems. So that
Hmm.
was like 14.4K connections.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that is so hard to do. I've done that before, and I couldn't do it because the connection would just cut off so often. You're
no,
like in the middle of engagement.
it's pretty awful. I had
Yeah.
a telephone cable from my mom's kitchen all the way down to the basement so that I could play a game, and we would build up like huge armies, and it was always cut out when we start the battle just because there's so many units on the screen.
Yes. Yes.
But real time strategy is probably where I go to most. Like Warcraft and Starcraft is a lot
Hmm.
of games that I play. Civ 5, I love that. But yeah, that's where I game a lot of real time strategies and turn based strategies as well.
And from there, obviously, you took your passion to start your own business. But as far as the building your business aspect, I mean, did you have to learn how to code? Did you already know how to do that, guys, or did you have to bring
Well,
somebody in for you?
Well, I'd say I'm a generalist in a lot of things. I'm not brilliant in any one thing, and
Hmm.
I think a lot of um, I'm fortunate enough to have worked in a lot of different places and know a lot of people that I have kind of like a breadth of knowledge. So when
Hmm.
we first started CoinPlay, my buddy Andy, he was full time. He's not full time anymore just because he's too busy. Um, but he's the coder, so he's done coding ever since he was like a kid. And my dad's a businessman, so I've always been kind of around it. And
Hmm.
luckily, since I'm an accountant, I have kind of the administrative side under my belt, and so we
Hmm.
kind of put that together to create a business, and gaming and cryptocurrency was just part of what we wanted to do.
What about you, Mason?
Well, I took a few computer science courses, uh, but I don't remember anything. But fortunately, I don't. There's no. Uh, I don't have to code. There's no requirement for that for what we do. So.
Okay. Well, we still have a few time. Is there anything you want to convey to the audience or want people to know about the high school eSport league or coin play, how to find you guys, where they can connect, if they want to sponsor, you know, what to look for, how to find you?
Yeah. Just on Facebook, or we have email, just admin@hsel.org. If you want to, if you have any questions or want to talk or anything like that. Our signups are open until March 1st. So if you're a high school kid or you know a high school kid, uh, sign up. And thanks to the Dogecoin community for being so awesome.
And what about you, Shane, for coin play?
With CoinPlay, I mean, just if you've got a second, visit our site. It's just coinplay.io. We've got a pretty fun Facebook page. You can just search us, coinplay.io, and we've got about 11,000 people following us, and we just post memes and do all the silliness that's kind of come from the Dogecoin community. That's been part of who we are. And any developers who might be listening, if you've got a game on Steam and you want to sell for Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Dogecoin, you can just hit us up at dev at coinplay.io, and we'll definitely sell your game. We'd love to do it.
Okay. Well, I would really like to thank you guys for coming and doing this and being very patient with me for this. I will have the audio equivalent of this on my show, the Music of the Shy podcast, but I will hit you guys back up on the email to make sure that when people view this on the YouTube, they have all your contact information and the right information. Is there anything else you wanted to convey or anything like that at this time, or?
No, thanks for having us, and I really appreciate the opportunity, and to the moon.
To the moon,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, that was Mason and Shane. Shane has CoinPlay, and Mason is directing the high school eSports league, which is having a spring league coming up. So again, like if you have a high school student, you know a high school student that is into gaming, is a way to engage and gather their friends and have a good time. They're doing sign-ups for the spring matches in 2000 for this year for 2015, and Shane again has its Steam games going on for sale so if you want to buy some games, have some fun, do something for the Doge community, hit up CoinPlay.io. I will clean that up, I swear. I'm sorry. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much again. I'm going to hit you up on the email to make sure I have all the correct information so I can put it in the about there in the comments so people can properly engage you guys, okay?
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day. And to the moon, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks.
To the moon.
You're welcome. Oy.